dirt with a chip on my shoulder, mud on my boots and my soul running colder. From Lejeune to the swamps of Paris Isle, I've been breaking bones with the drill sergeant smile. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. Call me rough, call me raw, just shrug it off. I don't flinch, I don't beg, and I sure don't bluff. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. I am the fight, taking names and barking orders all night. Grape soda creeps rolling into my town. I'll stomp their bikes and burn it all down. Barovia burned and we left men behind. Outback said, gave the word. I called it a lie, he pulled a blade. I damn near drew mine. Flint stepped in before the blood could fly. Never said sorry, that ain't my style. I kept him close through every mile. Now he's in my squad, best I got in the brush. Even lone wolves march when it's time to crush. I don't care about rank, don't care about polish. I'll chew a cobra's ear off, call it marine knowledge. Push-ups for breakfast, pain for dessert. You think you're bad, try bleeding in the dirt. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. Tell your queen, tell your dreadnoughts, back the hell off. Got a steel spine, don't need no gloss. Hard to kill, and damn sure pissed off. Drop and give me 50. March until you bleed. Stand your post till the morning comes, or knock out all your team. This fort don't fall and I ain't gonna cross. Ain't no retreat and I sure ain't soft. Hard to kill and always pissed off. Joe, and I'm your worst damn day. Semper Fi, it is my way. Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell, he's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes, and villains. At midnight we shout, Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking about the Joe team.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references, time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Yo, Joe. I'm Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer, and I need to turn this down so that it's not interfering, but hello. Here to give my Joe take on the character Leatherneck. This is Joe Take 67. And, I see a foot. Ben's in the background, so if you see Party Perch, that's Ben. Get some music going, some chat. All right, let's kick things off. We got Cool Gamer in the chat. Hello, Cool Gamer. It is good to see you, buddy. Hope you're ready for this ride tonight. We're going to talk about G.I. Joe Marines. There were 4. Now, there may be another Marine that I may have missed, but the 4 main Marines in G.I. Joe started with Gung Ho. Then you have Leatherneck, Mainframe, and Sergeant Slaughter all came out in 1986. Leatherneck is the Joe we're talking about tonight. Gung Ho came out in 1983. So that particular character is one of my favorites. And Leatherneck was, I never was too fond of Leatherneck until recently. And I will get into his character and I'll explain all that here in a little bit. And just a bit more. You can hear me better. All right, so let's start with the classic here, you know, the vintage Leatherneck. Now, I have an extra backpack. I have one through trade or whatever. I may have had 2 at one point. I don't remember. But I play with him enough that, you know, his crotch is broken on this particular figure. But I replaced the O-ring within the last year or so. This is a pretty cool figure. I love his grenade launcher. Yeah, he's got weak knees because this is a you know, this 40-year-old figure from the 80s. So, you know, it'd be 40 years old next year. Yeah, actually 1986 is when he came out. So 2026. Yeah. So he's 39 years old. So this is a pretty cool. I love the pretty cool figure. I love the camo on this figure. I liked a lot of things about this figure. I never thought he was too handsome of a dude, but you know, I don't think he's supposed to be. He's a hard-nosed Marine. Hello, crusty old crow. Welcome in. What's up? Discover your channel. Can't go wrong talking Joe these days. Yeah, I love to talk G.I. Joe. This is my 67 Joe take, so I have plenty for you to check out if you're interested. But welcome, crusty old crow. I like your handle there. My wife is extremely fond of crows, so I'm a fan of crows and ravens and things of that nature. Gothic horror, I'm into that too. Check out our other channel, From the Hilt, where that's our parent channel, really. This is my G.I. Joe channel, but we have lots of stuff over there too. But yeah, we're talking about Leatherneck today, and I did get the second Leatherneck. Now they did have another Leatherneck that came out in 1986 as part of the Brazil pack, and my brother had that one, but I don't. I ended up with the Claymore figure from that set, but I don't have any of the other ones. And I wish I had the wetsuit from that set because wow, he's cool. You'll get caught up. Now, there's plenty to get caught up on this channel. So I hope you enjoy. If you love G.I. Joe content, this is the place to hang out. Now, Leatherneck, this particular one had wild leopard print for pants and color scheme, but from the 90s, came out in 1993. And I mean, there it is all over the back. And of course, if I don't drop anything, it's not a Joe take, but he fell right off the battle stand. Now, he came with a tree of accessories, and I probably have his knife somewhere and his other pistol, and he had another little rifle. I mean, he literally came with a ton of accessories and a black battle stand like this. I do have his pistol. That's right. I still have his pistol. And he did not come with the standard grenade launcher, but he did come with a bunch of machine guns. And this particular Leatherneck, I wasn't really fond of him. I actually partied him out for other parts for other Joes at some point, but then I managed to get all these parts back together, and I put him back together, and he's got a good O-ring, and I always felt his head was kind of hollow. It's kind of what it sounded like to me, like this head was hollow. Most figures had solid plastic heads, but some of the ones that came out in the 90s sounded hollow to me, and Leatherneck is one of those. As you can hear there, his head is kind of it doesn't feel very solid, and I don't know, it was just the way they did things in the 90s. And he also came with one of those spring-loaded rocket launchers. I got a full bag of those, and I have never sorted them. I never found them interesting, even like while I was When that came out, I was 23 when this Leatherneck came out, and I was barely collecting Joes at the time. I did start collecting Joes again in the late 90s, but I was going to work and really doing a lot of stuff in the 90s. But I did get the 25th anniversary Leatherneck that came with the Ostriker, which was a desert Ostriker. It had these awesome colors, and I at the time I wished it came with a crankcase, a desert crankcase. That would have been awesome. But this desert Leatherneck is really cool. Now, he does have a pistol that is in his holster here. We'll pop it out and we'll take a look at it. And so he's got a standard sidearm. Did not have a combat knife for this figure, and I'm a big one, a stickler for sidearms and combat knives for a soldier. He did come with a grenade launcher, but it's mixed in with all my 25th anniversary accessories that I haven't gone through yet. I didn't ever separate them back in the day, and so I got bags and bags of just accessories all over the place. And so at some point, I may go through them and you get all these accessories, but the 25th anniversary line is not really, I've been showing them a lot more lately, and I'm probably going to show them more and more. I'll show off every figure I have of each character I do a Joe take for. But I'm all about this original Leatherneck. This is my favorite version of Leatherneck. They did come out with one of these for the 25th anniversary, but it was like a convention exclusive. And then they had another one that same year in 2016, I think. Or 2008. Yeah, this was 2008 or 2000. Yeah, it was 2008. And then 2016, they came out with like 2 Leathernecks, and then there was another one. And then there was a Leatherneck in the Valor vs. Venom line that looked just like Grunt, so I didn't get it. I had this thing at the time where if they were the same figure mold, I didn't buy it. And I had Leatherneck anyway, so it really didn't matter to me. You know what? If I had a figure, sometimes I wouldn't buy the next one because it was like, I got that guy already, you know? But then, you know, I started collecting the Classified series, and I really love the Classified series. And in the Classified series, Leatherneck is number 148. Of course, it has all this information that nobody cares about anymore. As far as the front of the box, and it just says Leatherneck. Doesn't say his code, his file name like some of them do. And there's the art on the back that they do. And my favorite is the box art on the side. And like I said, he's number 148. And I do have a detailed video of the figures called On Joe Takes 67, which I'll play near the end of the video, right before I play my movie clip. Because I'm putting together a live action play motion movie with the action figures. I've got my studio set up behind me here, as you can see. Now, Leatherneck came with a backpack that does look very reminiscent of the original. Same design and style. So I like that. But the thing about this particular backpack is it doesn't really fit into his back. I don't know if it's the peg or the peg hole or the alignment of the vest. I'm just damaging this trying to put it in there. Even if I line it up like I have been able to do with some other Classified figures, sometimes Hasbro is a little light on quality control, and I've said that many times. Now, here we go. We've got this awesome Classified Leatherneck, who is featured heavily in the video I'm going to play later on today as my movie clip. He is the leader of a G.I. Joe outpost known as Victor Bravo in my movie. And a lot of the other Joes just kind of, he's there to help them get home. And he was joined by another squad, and one of the squad mates is a lieutenant who eventually takes over the base. But it's his post, so at the beginning of it in this video, he's making most of the decisions. But yes, there is a higher ranking Joe that shows up, a couple of them actually from that other team. But they don't assert their authority over them until it was necessary. Now he comes with this bracelet. Now, if you look at the original figure, he has that. But like I said, the up close video I have shows all this stuff good, and he comes with a watch. Now these on the original were molded on. These actually come off, and this bracelet pops off all the time. It's just kind of annoying when I'm filming, but it looks good. and it's just a little. I'm going to take it off because he came with extra hands, so I'll show you here. It's just this little bracelet, and it just doesn't, go all the way around the wrist properly, and it falls off really easy. So I've got to be careful with it in filming, or I'll lose it, and I don't want to film it. I don't want to lose it while filming. Now his hat is removable, and he comes with these glasses, which aren't this visor, which isn't part of the original, and I'm not using it while I'm filming, so I'm going to go ahead and take those off so you can get a good look at Leatherneck's face sculpt, which he was based off, I believe, Kurt Bazigian, one of the designers of most of these action figures. So he's got a pretty cool face sculpt that matches the original fairly well, if I can get it to focus there. Like I said, I have a detailed video on this figure, and I have a little fun with it. It's one of my most watched on Joe tapes because I had Gung Ho, do a cameo in there like I always do with Gung Ho. He's my cameo Joe, and like I said, he has some fun with Gung Ho in that, or Gung Ho more likely has fun with him. Now, like I said, Joe's need to have a sidearm and a combat knife. So here's his combat knife, and it slides right into the sheath right there, really good, and it stays really good right there. Now, molded on the original figure, there is a knife right there. They did a pretty good job of updating this figure to make it look like the original, which is what most people want nowadays. Now, this watch is removable, and I'll show you that when I swap out the hands here and show you how that works, because he did come with a couple of punching hands. He has this really nice M16 grenade launcher combo, and each one has its own trigger. It's awesome. But yeah, that's hard to pose him holding both. So, it's just these figures aren't, they're posable, but they're not, they're not super figures. Now, let me see. Man, this gun is in the holster really well. Here's his pistol. Now, this is a different type of pistol, and it just, as you can see, that's just how it is. It's a lot. Okay, now, compared to he had the original sidearm, don't know what it looked like, so they could have done what they wanted. But the 93 Leatherneck came with this pistol, and they're really nothing alike. And the 2008 Leatherneck came with this pistol, and this is more like a 45 automatic or M1911A1 standard sidearm. This is anything but standard. I'm guessing that's a sight there on top. Other than that, it could be a 9mm Beretta or a 44 or you can't really tell with these plastic toys, but it could be an M1911A1. But it fits in his holster really good, and it stays really good. I haven't had any issues with that coming off during filming. As you can see, it's like right in there. That's pretty cool. And so he's got his combat knife, and he's got his sidearm. So I'm happy with that for this particular Joe. And I love that M16 grenade launcher combo, and I hope you guys do too. Now, the camo pattern on him is roughly the same as the original, and I really like the aesthetic. Now, on his leg here, he has a radio, and on the original figure, he also had a radio. So that's kind of cool how they kept that. And, and then he has a pouch here, and he has a pouch there. I mean, they pretty much followed it almost. Well, he's got a pouch on the back here that's not on the back of this one, but that's okay. But like I said, this vest does not line up. And on the original figure, that tan does go all the way around, just like it does on this figure. He does have a strap guard that's really cool on the original that didn't have on this, but it's unnecessary because they just didn't do that. It should have come all the way around with the knife like the original, but it does not. Now, he's got knee pads, which he didn't have on the original, but I like knee pads, so that's pretty cool. Let me take them off the stand, and I'll give you a look at Mr. Knee Pads there. Now, the problem with these double jointed knees is you can get one to bend and sometimes not the other, but I managed to keep both on this guy. And like I said, the posability on these is pretty decent for these 6-inch figures. I 6-inch figures. I do love the classified series, and it has a drop down leg. The legs drop down so you can pose it a little better, and then you have to just push them back up there. Now he's got the standard combat boots, just like on the original figure. So they did a good job. This is a great update for the Leatherneck. I do like that, you can pose a bit, but with the vest kind of limits some of his posability because he does have, an ab crunch in there, but it doesn't, it's not, it doesn't work with the vest on there. And sometimes, giving them these really cool accessories that look more realistic limit the posability. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a very, very decent update for Leatherneck. Now let me set these guys all back over here. Or I'm gonna show you the fist. I almost forgot to do that. I'm glad I didn't. Get all these other guys out of the way here real quick, so I can show you how these fists exchange. And I'm gonna make sure that I have his bracelet and his visor over here out of the way so I don't drop them on the floor. And I need to take his grenade launcher. Oh, look, this is just such a cool gun. I'm glad I have the opportunity. I wish the stock moved. They don't do that for, I know it's extra parts and everything. It would be cool. And that grenade launcher just is awesome. And yes, they have the holes for the blast effects, so that's cool too. Love that. I'm not sure about the pistol. Let me see. Pistol does have the hole for the blast effects too, so that's cool. All right, so let's swap these hands out and get some fists. See, so I didn't want to lose that bracelet, so pop his other hand on there. Now he's got a fist, and now I'm going to be careful not to lose the watch. And I'll pop this other fist in here. The watch stays on pretty good, but yeah, it's sliding now that I got the fist off there, and I've got to put the watch back where it belongs. There we go. I gotta make it look natural now. Everything moved around naturally. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. Yeah. All right, so there's Leatherneck with his fist, so he can punch the cobras. And I will likely be using that in the scene I'm filming. I'll be probably filming it tonight. I'm a little bit behind this week because I wasn't feeling good over the weekend, but I'm feeling a lot better today, and I'm up to filming today. So, hey, we got Berdazzle. Hello, Berdazzle. Did I miss saying hello to you when you popped in? It's always good to see you, Berdazzle. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But yeah, I got into talking about the figure, and that's how I am. I do like the grenades on the vest. They are on the original too. They're a different placement a little bit, but I like the placement on this better. So I think the update is better. He also has a unit patch on his shoulder, which I think is badass. And then his rank and insignia of E7, which is a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps, which makes him the same rank as Sergeant Slaughter. Now me, I have a different rank for him, and I'll explain that when I start talking about the character. So let me pop these fists back off and put his gun hands, is what they call it, with the trigger fingers back on, and then I'll put his wristband back on so I know where it's at, because I have it. I'm filming it, and I don't want to. I got to be careful when I'm filming because I want that to be visible in the shots so that everybody knows I'm still using it, and it's already been in the scene. So. Like the visor I took off. I mean, he doesn't normally use that. So there we go. Leatherneck back with his trigger fingers. Okay. Next up, we'll talk a bit about the character. And like I'm going to start that. I'm going to play his file card video. And we'll learn about who is Leatherneck. And we'll talk a bit about that. So here is... Codename Leatherneck.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
And finally, Wendell A. Metzger, grade 8 master gunnery, surgeon USMC, birthplace Stromsburg, Nebraska, primary specialty infantry, secondary specialty drill sergeant, qualified expert, M14, M16, M19, 11, A1, M301, M79, M60. Graduated Marine Force Recon, classified U.S. Marine Corps. Leatherneck was the hardest gunny that ever slogged through the mud of Camp Lejeune. Before that, he was the toughest drill sergeant on Paris Island. Before that, he was the roughest tech sergeant in the 1st Recon Battalion. Before that, he was the meanest corporal at Gitmo. Civilian badness doesn't count. Men have gone through his training, say that they would rather crawl through broken glass than be on his bad side. He demands countless push-ups for mistakes and enjoys leading 30-mile hikes through the hot and humid Paris Island swamps. He insists he is a tough disciplinarian because he wants his soldiers to be prepared for the worst. And when you have dealt with Cobra forces as often as he has, you come to expect the worst. There's only one way to train hard, so drop and give me 50 from Flint's file. He is uncouth, opinionated, and overbearing, and has no patience at all with the indecisive, the lazy, and the dishonest. Not a man you can like, but one you can trust.
Right, that was his file card. Wendell A. Metzger is his real name. Now, this particular character, I'll get into my opinion as we get going. But this particular character is a hard-nosed Marine. Clearly, he came out the same year as Sergeant Slaughter, so his popularity is probably not as much as it should have been. He's a real cool character, and I played with the character. I liked his interaction with the character Wetsuit. So if you watch the Sunbow cartoon, we'll get it. We'll talk about the Sunbow cartoon. He first appeared in the Sunbow miniseries, Rise from Pentor Rise, and he was just kind of a background character. He was there, not there. I mean, he outranked some of the other Joes, but they had more authority than him. I mean, Beachhead was a perfect example. I mean, his file card said E6, but they made him 4th in command of the G.I. Joe team. Leatherneck wasn't in that command structure. Now, there were episodes where Leatherneck was in charge, and it was kind of cool to see him that way. He was put in as squad leader, and that's kind of, I'll get into that's kind of how I see him. But in the cartoon, he had an interaction with Wetsuit, and that's the most memorable things from the Sunbow cartoon about Leatherneck. He was never in the Deke cartoon because the Deke cartoon was over in 91, 92 before Leatherneck's new figure in 93 came out. So he wasn't in the Deke cartoon later on, but in the Sunbow cartoon, he was in the 1986 season. He was in an episode featured called The Rotten Egg that was all about Leatherneck. It was a really good episode where it goes into some of his past about how he interacted with a a young recruit that just wasn't up to Marine Corps standards, and this character ended up becoming a Cobra and a nasty bad guy with training from Leatherneck. So it was kind of an interesting storyline. So check out Rotten Egg. It is a good episode, and there were several other ones where he was there throughout, like him and Wetsuit mostly together. It was a rare thing not to have Wetsuit and Leatherneck together in the cartoon. Their interaction, they were best friends, but they had a love-hate relationship. It was kind of cool. Now, my most memorable line of Leatherneck's, though, was in an episode called The Most Dangerous Thing in the World. And he was injured because of some things that happened. Cobra promoted some Joes to Colonel without Hawk's authorization because Hawk had left. And Hawk and Duke were not on base. Beachhead was in charge. And so, you know, from the Pentagon, they got word that these three Joes, Shipwreck, Lifeline, and Dial Tone, were promoted to Colonel. And so him and Wetsuit got injured due to results of some training. And he said, while he was laying on his back, having Lifeline check him out, he said, the most dangerous thing in the world is a green officer in the dark with a book of matches. And I thought that was such a great line. And so Marine, too. It's such a great character. Underutilized, overlooked a lot because of Gung Ho and Sergeant Slaughter. They're just more boisterous and likable characters, whereas Leatherneck is not meant to be a likable character, and so he had that in spades. I did not like him in the cartoon. I wasn't a fan. In the comics, he was kind of the same way, underutilized. He didn't have much interactions with Wetsuit in the comic book. I call him a special mission Joe because those are Joes that Larry Hama didn't really know what to do with. So he had him on special missions. Now, there were some instances with Leatherneck. The comics, he had an interaction with Outback that's really famous that I've talked about many times. So check out my Outback video where Outback was on a mission with Stalker, Quick Kick, and Snow Job. And they got, Stalker ordered him to go back with the word of what went down because Snow Job and Quick Kick were injured and Stalker had to stay with him. Stalker's a medic and he was the team leader. He was the obvious choice, and Outback was the obvious choice to go get the word out. Now, a lot of his fellow Joes did not believe that Stalker ordered him to return to headquarters without them. So for a while, until they were rescued and brought back, set the record straight, Outback was kind of not seen in a good light by the other Joes because they thought he left other Joes behind and he was a new Joe. But after that, in my opinion, Leatherneck would have really started to like Outback because Outback is such a cool character. But I'm going to start with this special mission here. This is a story about Lifeline, not really about Leatherneck, and he's not on the cover. But in this particular story, Lifeline is a pacifist, and Leatherneck just had no use for him. He wouldn't use a gun. He wouldn't pick up a knife. He wasn't a soldier in the Marine's eyes. He was a medic, and he was a pacifist, and it really bothered Leatherneck. Now, Lifeline really shined in that issue, and Leatherneck was right there the whole time, tearing him down, did not like him, had no respect for him at all. But that all turned around by the end of the issue, you know, and Leatherneck was a badass Marine. Wild Bill actually led that mission. It was pretty cool. Now, Leatherneck did have another appearance in this, but it was kind of limited. He was just a hard-nosed soldier right there. Flint was in charge of this mission. He had Beachhead and Lowlight. So many cool characters in this issue, but Leatherneck is featured on the cover. And as far as I know, this is one of the only covers where Leatherneck is prominently featured on the cover. That's a good storyline with Lowlight. Now, I covered this issue in my Lowlight take, so check that out. Of course, I'm getting all sorts of notifications right now. But I'll get to that later. Now, hey, Jess, how you doing? Didn't get a notification down. Should have been paying attention. No worries, Jess. I'm still knee-deep into it and I haven't shown my clip yet. So with the AI voice. But it's good to see you, Jess. I'll say hello and we'll chat like I always do, but glad to have you in. I just got through talking about the comic and the cartoon. Now, as far as the comic and the cartoon, Leatherneck was underutilized. He was there and he was doing his job. That's about it. Like I said, he had a few notable appearances. As for me and my opinion of Leatherneck, this character, I didn't give him a fair shot. I should have, because he's a way cooler character than I thought of. There is a YouTuber called Destro is My Spirit Animal, and he did a bit on Leatherneck about the classified figure, saying how short he was compared to the Gung Ho figure, and the Gung Ho figure is massive. And I agree that Leatherneck should be a little taller. However, he thought he should be like 6'3", 6'4", and that he always had that understanding. I kind of did too, but I went down a rabbit hole and discovered that there's no mention of either character's height, Gung Ho or Leatherneck. So, creative, creative decisions, however it works. Now, yeah, the Krusty Old Crow popped in here. I don't know if they're still in here. I do know more about G.I. Joe than anyone should be allowed. It's probably true. I don't know everything, I'll be honest with you, but I know a lot. And Leatherneck, in my headcanon and in my stories that I'm doing, Leatherneck is a squad leader. A squad leader in my stories leads a fire team. Leatherneck, in my story currently, his fire team is Starduster, Outback, who he has a great respect for now, and Dial Tone. Now, Dial Tone and him go way back. In the cartoon, Dial Tone had some notable appearances. Leatherneck was right there, making fun of him and teasing him, because that's what they did. Joes razz each other, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, him and Dial Tone go way back. If I had Wetsuit would have been in his squad in this, but Wetsuit's not out yet. They got pre-orders for him, so that's cool. So Wetsuit's finally coming out, and so I'll be able to do a Brothers in Arms with Leatherneck and Wetsuit, like I did for Alpine and Bazooka. And I need to redo my Mutt and Spirit Brothers in Arms. But that was the first one I did, and I did Dreadnoks as well. So those are pretty cool. So check those out. But so Leatherneck has a rank of E7, which in the Marine Corps is a gunnery sergeant. Now, I have promoted him to E8, which is a master gunnery sergeant. It's not a master gunnery sergeant major. I mean, there's master guns is what they call that. But it does a master sergeant and then a master gunnery sergeant. But he's E8, so he's right in there. Which would be effectively the same rank as Duke originally was. Now, Duke, I have in a different rank and authority. He's a command sergeant major. Leatherneck's not quite at that level yet. But Leatherneck is one of my prominent squad leaders. And the reason being is he's one hell of a drill sergeant, and he does that for G.I. Joe 2. There's so many drill instructors in G.I. Joe, but that's one of his primary specialties. Leatherneck is a drill instructor. But he's also an infantry. He's just a hard-nosed trooper. And not one of my favorite characters in G.I. Joe, but there's like 250 G.I. Joe characters at least. There's more than that now. But Leatherneck, he's up there. I like the Marine characters. Mainframe, Sergeant Slaughter, Gung Ho. And like I said, there may be other Marines, but they don't really say. I made... there's a character called Snowstorm that came out with the Polar Ice Shark, and the Polar Shark for the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie, which is a great vehicle. A little smaller than the one they showed in the movie, but a great vehicle. I wish it had the detachable front and back. That would have been cool, but it was all one piece. And it was an interesting vehicle, but I made him a Marine because the way his file card read, it sounded like he was a Marine. I might even set a Marine on there. But so, yeah, some of the newer characters that aren't really notable might be Marines. But your four main Marines are Sergeant Slaughter, Gung Ho, Leatherneck, and Mainframe, who was originally an Army Airborne Ranger in Vietnam, but when he re-enlisted years later, he went into computers and he enlisted in the Marine Corps, and he became a computer specialist. So he in the Joe team, he was always a Marine. Let's see, just dropped my phone and then stepped on it as a soft folding case. I don't think the screen cracked. Oh, then there was just a tiny one on the edge. I hope not, Jess. Phones are so fragile. I've got an iPhone, so it's kind of a brick, but yeah, I've had very fragile phones before. It sucks. But that's how I see Leatherneck. Leatherneck is a squad leader. I don't see him interacting with Wetsuit a lot. I love that interaction in the cartoon, but on occasion, when the SEAL team and the Marines interact, which they do on a boat, the Marines are basically security for a boat, and the SEAL they protect the boat while the naval operators go and do what they need to do. And Marines are the first in. Door kickers, they're the first out, but first in, last out. I'm sorry. Marines are the frontline force. They go in, they clear things, and then the Army Rangers come in and secure it. It's just how it is. I grew up a bit around Marines in my 20s, and to me, that's still part of when I was growing up. Now that I'm an older guy and I'm in my 50s, and I still enjoy G.I. Joe, and I'm really into the military stuff because I was unable to serve physically. I wanted to, but I got into it. I enjoy all the ranks. I think Cool Gamer is still in here, Jess. There is a few people watching, but so yeah, I got to know Marines, and my experience, because I lived near Camp Pendleton for a while, and my younger sister married a Marine. So I got to know that Marine very well. He was a good dude. Had his issues, and then, they're not together anymore. But they might sort it out. I don't know. They were together for a long time. I had 4 children together, so he's part of my family, divorced or not. That's just how life is. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but Marines are hard heads, and they're made that way. That's probably why they're called jarheads. That's kind of a not a good nickname, but a kind of a bad nickname for them. And some Marines took to that, and they called themselves jarheads. So there was even a movie called Jarhead that was all about Marines, and it was good. The Marine Corps is a necessary part of our armed forces. They protect the president. They protect the naval forces. They are first in on when you're storming a beach, or whenever they go in first. They're our first line, front line force, and they see all the nasty before everybody else comes in. Whatever the enemy has in store for you, the Marines get to see first. And Leatherneck is, in the truest sense, he epitomizes everything a Marine should be. Now, he's opinionated, he's uncouth, just like Flint said, just not someone you like, somebody you trust and you can depend on Leatherneck. And that's what I like about this character. And I hope you enjoyed my take on Leatherneck, because that's my take on Leatherneck. So there it is. I do have some other stuff for you. I've got his own Joe Takes video I'm going to play. And then, yes, I have the movie clip, and Jess Laws normally does the voice of Zorana for all my clips and for the movie overall. And she's a great voice actor, and I'm enjoying the work she's doing. But she didn't have everything to me this time, so I AI generated Zorana's voice. So it sounds kind of like the cartoon. I like Jess Law's voice for Zorana much better. So when it's in the movie, we'll have Jess Law's voice, but I'm going to play that for you right before we leave here. Let's check out the On Joe Takes, and you can get a good look at this figure, Leatherneck, and the fun I had with him and Gung Ho. So I hope you enjoy.
with a chip on my shoulder, mud on my boots and my soul running colder. From Legion to the swamps of Paris Isle, I've been breaking bones with the drill sergeant smile. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. Call me rough, call me raw, just shrug it off. I don't flinch, I don't beg, and I sure don't bluff. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. I am the fight, taking names and barking orders all night. Grape soda creeps rolling into my town. I'll stomp their bikes and burn it all down. Barovia burned and we left men behind. Outback said, "I gave the word." I called it a lie, he pulled a blade. I damn near drew mine. Flint stepped in before the blood could fly. Never said sorry, that ain't my style. I kept him close through every mile. Now he's in my squad, best I got in the brush. Even lone wolves march when it's time to crush. I don't care about rank, don't care about polish. I'll chew a cobra's ear off, call it marine knowledge. Push-ups for breakfast, pain for dessert. You think you're bad, try bleeding in the dirt. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. Tell your queen, tell your dreadnoughts, back the hell off. Got a steel spine, don't need no gloss. Hard to kill, and damn sure pissed off. Drop and give me 50. March until you bleed. Stand your post till the morning comes, or knock out all your teeth.
Like I said, I had a bit of fun of that with him and Gung Ho in the size comparison. And Destro is my spirit animal. If you checked out this episode, I'm with you there, bro. I don't always agree with everything you say, but I agree with most of what you say. So, fellow Joe fan, thank you for your opinion and sending me down the rabbit hole of size comparison and the two Marines. Now, like I said, I had some fun with that. And if you notice, Gung Ho knocked Leatherneck out and ran away. Gung Ho is definitely my character that I have a lot more fun with. He's my cameo Joe. He's in all my Joe takes, well, few exceptions. I don't think he was in my low light video, but I kind of explained that in my other little play motion movie that I'm redoing. We'll have that out pretty soon too. And I've renamed that to G.I. Joe Dungeons and Disinformation. But the clip I'm going to show you right now is from G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright, which is the movie I'm working on right now, and I'm going to be adding a ton of stuff to it. So you're just seeing clips, the main clips, yeah, for the movie. And if you watch them here on Joe Tex, you'll get the overall story. But the movie itself is going to premiere on our big channel From the Hilt. That's our monetized channel. So naturally, that's where we'll promote that, premiere that, and later on down the line, I'll likely have it over here on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel, along with Dungeons and Disinformation once I get that done too. That is a project. I'm cleaning that up, redoing the voices, and adding a lot of cool music to it. And the soundtrack for that's out too. So check that out for the G.I. Joe Dungeons and Disinformation. Our radio show on From the Hilt on the, I think, the 28th this month, Thursday the 28th. We'll feature the full video album for G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright of all the music. That's our videos, music videos. Now, I do have a soundtrack that I'm going to be premiering in September that is almost 3 hours long. It's 2 hours, like 46 minutes of nothing but it has all those songs that are music and all the instrumentals and all the music that I use for G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright is in that video. And so I'm gonna have a big premiere for that, and that will be premiering on September 3rd. Yeah, so the week after the radio show will be the longer soundtrack for G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright. And then the movie will premiere hopefully sometime in September once I've done all the final editing and added all the final shots and scenes and done all some retakes and fixed up some of the voices and sound effects and everything. But right now I'm having fun, and you get to see some of the raw footage as I'm working. Lennox gave you some tips and tricks to help get past the non-stage fright. I get you, Jess. I used to not be able to speak in public at all, and now I enjoy it. I love it, and I'm having a good time. I don't like to give speeches though, so. Let me see if I remember to do everything before we get into this. I wanted to show a close-up of the cover with him on. It's kind of grainy. I should have scanned it myself, but this is the one I ripped off the internet, and so there's that cover of Special Missions Number 8, which I showed you back there. Great storyline. I hope you check out Marvel Comics. I do have the entire run in the 4-volume set given to me by Per. That's the omnibus of the entire Marvel run of G.I. Joe Comics by Larry Hama. Great stuff. So I'm very appreciative of that. And so let's jump into this movie clip here, and I'll come back and talk a little bit, and then I'll play the outro, and we'll call it a night on this Joe Take. But I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to play this little bit here first to give you an idea of you're going to see. It's only like 10 seconds, and then I'll play the movie clip, which is almost 10 minutes long. So here we go.
Hilt fan play motion. You will see hands. Figures are plastic, but the voices are real. It's from the hilt. Let's play.
Now, when I actually make the movie, most of the voices are real, but a lot of them are AI. In fact, most of the voices, I should say, most of the voices are AI. But we do have voice actors. I voice act a lot. Red Power Ranger Fan 27 voiced some. Mama Sins, it does a voice. She's the voice of Scarlet in this, so hopefully you check that out. Red Power Ranger Fan does 2 voices in this. I do a few. I do Ripper and Clutch in this, and so I hope you enjoy. I have a lot of fun with the Dreadnoks and the Joes and how they have. In the next scene I'm going to do, they're going to clash. I got them all ready. I'm going to be filming that tonight and probably tomorrow, and I'm just going to have some fun with it. And I've got it all scripted out, and it should be a lot of fun. So here is my clip from G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright. This is Act 2. If I can get into my movie clips folder. Yeah, I must be on the wrong video file. That's what we want. And there it is. Act 2, Scene 7. This is Hard to Kill, Easy to Piss Off, named after the song that I wrote for Leatherneck, and we'll chat about that a little bit after. But here is the movie clip.
Dreadnoks! Rolling down the road like thunder, leather cuts, balls and guts, you'll hear the rumble. Tremble before us as we make our way. Nomads across the world, revving our engines with excess, just enough to impress. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Whoa! We are Dreadnoks, in town giving shocks. We are mean and cruel, taking everything right down to your fuel. Dreadnoks are coming, you will be succumbing. Dreadnoks. Blades, bullets, and fire, wherever we go, trouble will follow, disaster in our wake, making you quake. Dreadnoks, or you'll be seeing us soon.
These yokels ran away so fast they forgot to piss their pants. So scared they didn't even finish breakfast.
Hey Torch, that's not coffee. It's grape soda. Gimme.
Sure. Share and share alike, brother.
Soda's mine. Flame break.
Nothing is yours unless I says it is Noggy. We barely acknowledge that you're even a Dreadnok.
Whatever I said. You ain't the boss of me. I only answer to Zarana.
You mean road pig? Ha ha.
Hey guys!
Guys, I found the holy stash!
Chocolate donuts. Breakfast of violence.
Stomporama food.
You weirdos eat trash. I prefer organic.
Oh. We will be partaking of that as well.
So get to barbecuing or I'll smash you good.
Sure thing, Governor. Right away.
So we're really just waiting here? No action? No plan?
Cobra says there's a Joe outpost within 50 miles. We stay until we get the call. Patience, brother.
Xander, I forgot you were even here.
And if they're wrong, sister?
Then I guess we enjoy our vacation, brother.
Best vacation ever.
To grape soda and chocolate donuts. May the sugar high lead us to the slaughter.
What does Zartan have to say about all this?
He said he had something to do.
Figures. Seems lazy.
Only 50 more boys. So you lazy lugs think this is a cush job. You think Flint sent the alpha dogs to our little fort for now, just to babysit us?
We are your babysitters.
Somebody's salty this morning. Where's Gung Ho? In the watchtower. Took the last of breakfast with him too.
Hey, I was promised JoJo Cola. Instead, I get Sergeant Snarl.
I'll give you a 6-pack of bruises. How about that?
But I'll knock you the hell out, Leatherneck.
Stand down, rock and roll, and you. Easy there, Leatherneck. Plus maybe a pain in the ass, but he's our pain in the ass. You break him, you fix it.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I knew it. Lieutenant Scarlet has feelings for me.
Keep dreaming, Clutch.
Leatherneck's right about one thing. This ain't no vacation.
Define vacation.
Someplace with long sandy beaches and aliens.
Hails to the yeah, brother.
Hey Leatherneck, we got company. Micro drone signatures. Small, silent, and fast.
Guess the quiet was too good to last.
Oh yay, robot mosquitoes, just what we need.
What kind dial tone? Is it Cobra?
Cloaked signature splitting. Definitely Cobra Tech.
We've got to keep M from finding Alpha Lima.
Got a name for these things yet, dial tone?
We're designating them as Stinger Blades. They're cloaked recon units with optical shimmer fields and armed with titanium razor blades.
Seriously?
I've picked up 6 blips on the EM scanner with no good news attached, so to tell you the truth, Stalker, I wish I wasn't.
Request permission to intercept. I can scout the ridge with my jetpack. See what they're watching and why.
You want to make the call, Stalker? It's your outpost, Leatherneck. So it's your call. Alright then. Make it quick, Stardusta. In and out. If you see anything big, you fall back.
Copy that. No special heroics.
Maybe I should do some recon as well, Leatherneck. Sounds good, Outback. We've got the alpha dogs to cover us, so go for it. 5x5, bro.
Target located. Coordinates locked. Engage immediately.
Mount up. They found the Joe outpost. Their airfield must be close too.
Finally.
I've got dibs on the vamp!
You don't call dibs before the blast, Ripper. Such a buffoon. But since you're calling M, I'll take their air transport.
The plane's off limits, Buzzer. Let's be clear on that. Lady Vipra said to steer clear of it.
Well, that just plain doesn't make any sense.
I think that's the point, dumbass.
I'm gonna bonk somebody for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear him scream.
This could get loud.
Dreadnought loud.
I can be loud.
That'd be a first brother of mine. Alrighty, you bloody bastards. Let's ride.
Oh, you'll be seeing us soon. A band of vipers playing our tune. Always on the move, rolling down the road, nothing to prove. Buzzer cuts them clean. Pepper bolts enter into your spleen. Torch will burn you alive. A tree will not survive. The thunder machine will run you down. Pressure will crush you with a frown. Lucky wrench will blow you apart. While sets up above you without heart. Dreadnought!
And there you have it. G.I. Joe, Lady Bloodright, Act 2, Scene 7. Hard to kill, easy to piss off. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I have some fun with that, especially with the AI voices. The AI voice for Zorana that is okay. It sounds a lot like the cartoon. That's kind of what I was going for, but I prefer Jess Law's voice. Like I said, I had a hard time saying Vipra. I had to spell it different so that the AI would say it right. I said AI voices are limited in emotion and inflection. Yeah. So that's why I totally went back and I said, all right, I can do Ripper's voice because I can sound like Cobra Commando with a British accent. So, that's what Ripper sounds like. They were voiced by the same character, and I was able to nail it. And so I redid Ripper's voice from the AI because the AI version was just horrible. And, some of it did really good, like with Stalker. I got that. The voice for Stalker is really good. Leatherneck's okay. I wish I had somebody to do Leatherneck's voice because his voice was okay, but it could have been a lot better. And he had most of the lines and dialogue in that scene. But I had a lot of fun making it. I'm going to have a lot more fun with this next scene because they're fighting. So I'm going to be doing some fight scenes. So that's going to be some fun, and I get to work with the likes of Leatherneck's team, which is pretty cool. You got Starduster, who's going to be coming in right at the beginning of that scene with the jetpack, and so that's fun. I had fun making the flying scene, and I got a scene with Road Pig just brutalizing the Joes because he's just a massive badass. He just he's the toughest Dreadnought, and not many are tougher than him in the Larry Hama universe. In the Larry Hama comics, he just waded through a police station and busted Zorana out and then just rode out like it was nothing. He's just a big badass. He's got a kind of a split personality, and definitely wish I had somebody voicing Road Pig. I might redo it myself because he has a Donald voice, which is his name, Donald DeLuca. And he has a Road Pig voice because he kind of has a split personality. And Zorana prefers the Road Pig part over the Donald, who's like articulate and very and I get that from the comic book. Road Pig came out in 1988 in a time period where there was no cartoon, there was no anything going on that year except commercials, and I don't think he was ever voiced by anybody, so I have nothing to go by. other than Larry Hama's writings, which were incredible for that character. And so I'm having fun with that. And so I may do Road Pig's voice. Torch did good. I like the sound of Torch's voice. Buzzer was spot on. The AI was great for Buzzer. Xandar's voice was Red Power Ranger Fan 27. I enjoyed that. I had a Snake Eyes laugh in there. I don't know if anybody's going to catch that was Snake Eyes laughing when Clutch said that Scarlet had feelings for him, because Snake Eyes and Scarlet are a couple in my universe as it is in Larry Hama's universe. So let's see. You can see if you can try batting your lashes, wobble your chin, and cry to talk Ray into doing at least one voice. He's capable of doing several. He talks in different voices all the time just cuz. I do too. So that's why I enjoy it. If Ray wants to, he's more than welcome. But if he doesn't, don't try to force him. I'd rather have somebody willing to do the voices and have some fun with it. So, like I said, I just enjoy doing that scene with the motorcycles. I love that song, Dreadnoks. I love the song Hard to Kill, Easy to Piss Off. And I did have the instrumental you hear in the background right now playing near the end during the jetpack scene. So I had a ton of fun making this one, but it's a little longer, and there's a lot to it. There was a lot of sound effects. There was fire. I wanted to show that they totally brutalized this town in Nebraska, and it's a fictional town. It's based off of a real town, but it's fictional. You bet he'd like doing it. He might, and if he does, he's welcome to come on board. I have a lot of voices that are uncast, and when we do the final product, we can change any of the voices. We can change sound effects. I'm going to be going over and doing a hard edit on all of them, and I'm going to be adding so many scenes. I've got some scenes with Storm Shadow I'm going to do that aren't going to be any of the clips you guys see, because on my Joe Takes, I'm trying to have a scene with the character that I'm featuring in the episode of Joe Takes. Like today is Leatherneck's Joe Take. So Leatherneck was featured in this video. Last week was Saw Viper, and he was heavily featured in that video. The week before that was Lieutenant Falcon, and he was heavily featured in that. Overall, my G.I. Joe star of this movie is Jinx, and if you watch the first few scenes, you'll see why. And the main Cobra villain is Vipra. Now, the G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright is about the Baroness, and I haven't forgotten her, so I'm going to have some scenes with the Baroness in between. And throughout the movie, I'm going to have some scenes with Duke and Hawk, because they left at the beginning. I'm going to have some scenes with Flint and Beachhead. All throughout, I'm just going to make little scenes here and there and splice the movie together as a full movie. Now, the soundtrack is, like I said, almost 3 hours long. The movie's not going to be that long. It'll probably be a little over 2 hours once I get everything all said and done. So I'm just having fun with it, and I hope you enjoy these clips. And I really enjoy doing these Joe Takes. Leatherneck is a cool character. I hope you like my take on Leatherneck. I'm having fun with him. He's going to be part of the action and the fight in the next scene, which is focusing on Xandar, actually. But Xandar is one of those characters who's not a frontline character. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's guttural. And I think Red Power Ranger Fan 27 is doing a great voice. Red Power Ranger Fan also decided to voice the character Rock and Roll in this scene, and I thought he did a great job as Rock and Roll. So if you like the Rock and Roll voice in that, that's Red Power Ranger Fan 27. So check out his channel, subscribe. Check out Jess Law's channel, subscribe and like here if you enjoy our content. Check us out over on From the Hill. We got a lot of stuff going on over there, memberships and all that super chats, and you can do all that over there. And we have a lot of fun on From the Hill, especially on Friday nights. We have our Fridays from the Hill. Thursdays we do something cool, like tomorrow night we're doing a RPG take where we're doing a round table. I'm the referee in a game at home on Saturdays, and we're going to be talking about that game this week. We just finished up a module called Assault on Raven's Ruin, and we're going to be covering it a little bit, and then we're going to be talking about how they played it, which is they played the adventure just like it's written, but it's so far afield, and we had so much fun. And even Ben was in that. Ben's back here behind me, and There's Bobo. She played this little monkey dude that was just funny as hell, and we had a lot of fun in that. So that's going to be tomorrow night on From the Hill. So please check that out. He was getting ready to ask about tomorrow. Yeah, you know, I do. That's how I roll, Jess. At the end of the show, I talk about what's coming up next on my channels, and I just have the two because this is my G.I. Joe channel, and then I have a ton of other stuff on From the Hill music and live role-playing games, and we just have fun over there. And our Friday night show is just fun. We show our shorty shorts that Tiger and I make, my wife, and Tiger does the voice of the Baroness in this movie, G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright, and she's awesome as the Baroness. I hope you guys agree. She sounds just like the Baroness from the cartoon, and I think she sounds a little better, but I'm a little biased. But like I said, I'm enjoying making the movie. Hope you enjoyed the clip, and I guess that's it for Joe Takes tonight. Hope you enjoyed my take on Leatherneck. Mad Games on Sunday and Monday coming up. Well, okay, so game-wise this weekend on the G.I. Joe, not on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel, but on From the Hill, we have a game on Sunday. And I don't know what we're doing on Monday, but I'll probably have something going on Monday. But we are doing a military action game, Ravenspire Session 1, which is a carryover from Fireteam Echo from the original series. So it's a brand new take on military action game with those original characters plus new ones, and so we're having a good time with that. And then next week we got Xandar here on G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe Gamer channel, Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer channel. Because this is how I roll. I love talking G.I. Joe over here. I love talking the comics. I love talking the cartoon. I love talking the figures. We just have a good time here, and I hope you guys enjoy my Joe Takes. And on that note, Logan out. Here's the outro, and we'll see you next time on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel and on From the Hill.
Logan's room full of Joe Take dreams. Crimson Guard with eyes on the team. Snake Eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke as the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra Commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet Sharp hits hard, flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. Logan's G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Zartan shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baron is cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs, wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads, we cheer. From the Hills on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe Takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. Logan's the G.I. Joe Gamer, plays it best. Yo, Joe, Cobra, let's go. Let's go. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you.